Hello everyone, greetings to all watching the video. I welcome you all to another episode of Convo with Apricus. Friends, our topic of discussion today is marginalization in the plays of Mahesh Dattani. It is an important topic from the research point of view, and to throw light on this topic, we have Mrs. Shaik Shakeela with us. Mrs. Shaik Shakeela has over 10 years of experience in teaching and research. She has worked in various universities like Sri Padmavati Mahila University and Central University of Andhra Pradesh in India. She has presented many research papers in various national and international seminars and conferences, and also published her manuscripts in various peer-reviewed journals. She is also the member of editorial board in various journals, including International Journal of Art, Culture and Literature. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to Convo with Apricus.
First of all, my warm greetings to all. I feel privileged to be part of this discussion, madam. Thank you very much. I'm ready to share my points on this topic.
Thank you, ma'am. We will start the discussion now. Ma'am, please introduce Mahesh Dattani and his work to our audience.
Yeah. Sure, madam. Mahesh Dattani, coming to the introduction of Mahesh Dattani, he is a renowned playwright, madam. He is the first Indian English playwright who received a Sahitya Akademi Award. Coming to his biography, he was born in Bangalore on 7th August 1958. He was born in a Gujarati family, but born and brought up in Bangalore. So in many of his plays, we can find the culture of his family. I mean, Gujarati background, Gujarati language, culture, tradition in his placement. And he also wrote the plays like, Tara, Dance Like a Man, Bravely Fought the Queen. He also wrote up radio plays and screenplays, including Ek Alag Mosam, and then Morning Raga. So like that, he wrote, madam. In these plays, coming to the introduction of his plays, I mean, I just want to throw some light on his plays, like Tara. The topic is marginalization in the plays of Mahesh Dattani, because in almost all the plays of Mahesh Dattani, we can find the discrimination shown by the society towards the marginalized sections of people can be majorly found in his plays. Coming to Tara, Bravely Fought the Queen, and Where There Is a Will, in these three plays, we can observe how women characters are marginalized by their own families, by their own family members, or by the other people of the society. Tara, coming to Tara, where a physically deformed girl, a young girl, is marginalized, is discriminated by her own family, because she takes birth along with her brother. She is a Siamese twin of her brother Chandan. So after the birth, her parents wanted to separate these two children. So these two children, Tara and Chandan, they take birth with 3 legs, 1 leg common to these two children. So at that time, Tara's mother, she gets influenced with the patriarchal norms, because in India, particularly in India, even though people are educated, even though whatever may be the background of that particular families, but families prefer to favor male child only. That can be clearly found in this play, madam. So here, the mother, particularly under the influence of patriarchal norms, she favors her son, and along with her father, she advises the doctor to cut the common leg and favor apart from the girl Tara, and favor the male child. So that affects Tara's life, ultimately leading to the death of Tara. So because of that mistake, Tara's mother, Bharati, she suffers a lot. She witnesses the sufferings of her daughter. That too, she is a deformed child, and at the same time, she is a female child. So how her own family does injustice towards that young girl, that can be clearly noticed in that way. Along with that, we can also notice how Bharati is marginalized in the family. Bharati, being a woman, a middle-class woman, she is dominated by her husband. Mr. Patel doesn't allow, even though Bharati after the surgery wants to do some favor to her daughter, but Mr. Patel does not favor his wife. So all these things we can find in Tara. That is the first thing, madam. And coming to Bravely for the Queen, another play of Mahesh Dattani, where two sisters marry to two brothers, Alka and Dolly. These two sisters, how they suffer, how they get humiliated in the hands of their in-laws, including their mother-in-law, Ba, who is named as Ba in that play. So these two characters, after getting tormented by their own families, these two sisters, they rebel against the family. Alka and Dolly, they go against the family. They question the patriarchal domination that is done on these two characters. That can be clearly found. I mean, patriarchal domination and at the same time domestic violence we can find in this play. And another play that is Where There Is a Will, where Hasmukh Mehta, a patriarchal representative in that play, how he dominates his family, how he tries to take a grip over the family, we can find. Even after the death, he prepares, before the death, he prepares a will favoring, by discriminating his family members. So in that way, we can find marginalization. In that way, we can find domination of one member in the family and discriminating the other members in the family. So in these three plays, if we observe, female characters are marginalized, female characters are dominated. And coming to Ek Alag Mausam, a screenplay written by Mahesh Dattani, where the problems of AIDS victims are clearly depicted, where Aparna is a major character who represents, being an AIDS patient, how she witnesses the sufferings of AIDS victims. We can clearly find in that play, where Aparna, she goes to Jeevan Jyoti after detecting that she got infected with AIDS, with HIV. So she joins Jeevan Jyoti to do service to the people. So there, how she witnesses the struggle of the people, how society marginalizes them, discriminates them. So all these things we can notice in Ek Alag Mausam. Coming to Do the Needful and On a Muggy Night in Mumbai, the two other plays of Mahesh Dattani, where homosexuals and their sufferings are clearly represented by him, where how homosexuality is not accepted in our society. If anybody knows that that particular candidate is a homosexual, that person is not treated as a part of heterosexual society. So that is the major thing we can find in these two plays. And at the same time, another play that is a 7 Steps Around the Fire. So in that play, transgenders, how transgenders are discriminated in society. So these things we can find, one transgender named Kamla, she is murdered by a patriarchal representative just because she marries her son, his son, Mr. Sharma, political leader's son, Subbu. After the marriage, this man comes to know and he does not accept the transgender as a family member or as a daughter-in-law of that particular family. And he hides some gundas and makes that hijra to burn to death. So in that way, in all these plays, major plays I have discussed, so in all these plays, we can majorly notice the discrimination, marginalization of one group of people. That may be in the name of gender, that may be in the name of physical deformity, maybe in the name of homosexuality or gender. So in all these aspects, we can find marginality that is done on one group of people. So that is just a brief introduction. And once again, I just want to say that because of his contribution to Indian English plays, he received a Sahitya Academy Award, particularly for final solutions where communal rivalries are discussed. So that is briefly about Mahesh Dattani and his plays.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for such a brief introduction. Ma'am, I want to know how does Mahesh Dattani treat the issue of gender? Can he be called gender bias?
No, we can't say that Mahesh Dattani is of a gender bias because he tried to favor. He wants to maintain equilibrium in society. Where women who are oppressed, homosexuals who are oppressed, transgenders who are oppressed, this community, he tries to favor these community people, but he doesn't show any gender. Because I just want to mention a play named Dance Like a Man, where a man named Jairaj, who prefers to dance who wants to opt for dancing as his career. But his father does not encourage him. His father, named Amrit Lal, he does not encourage him. So through this play, Mahesh Dattani tries to portray that not only women but also men are being discriminated. So he doesn't favor any particular gender here, madam. Now we can notice that he at the same time he tries to show some of the faults of female characters also. He tries to differentiate weak characters and at the same time strong characters. So in that way, we can't say that Mahesh Dattani is of gender bias. In Dance Like a Man, take for example, in Dance Like a Man, he shows the real face of Jairaj's wife, Ratna, who oppresses her husband in order to get fame as a dancer. She joins her hand with Amrit Lal, her father, Jairaj's father, and then she collapses, spoils the future of Jairaj as a dancer. So these things clearly show us that Mahesh Dattani is not favoring any kind of a gender. He is favoring all people, but he just wants to eliminate inequalities that are present in society. So in that way, we can say that Mahesh Dattani is not of a gender bias.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, what are your suggestions to researchers who want to research on the plays of Mahesh Dattani?
So I'm very curious to talk about this issue, madam. In fact, every research scholar knows the ethics of research. That research is not a part of our own growth. Research is meant for, of course, for academic growth, and at the same time, it must do some favor to society. So in that way, here, Mahesh Dattani intends to show what are the things that are going on in society in a realistic manner. So in that way, I just want to suggest that comparative study of Mahesh Dattani's plays with other playwrights, like the contemporary playwright named Vijay Tendulkar, how marginalized people are brought to the center and how they are discussed. So in that way, research scholars can work, and at the same time, characters, showing the difference between weak characters and strong characters of in the place of Mahesh Dattani. Just like in Where There Is a Will, I just told how a patriarchal representative, a father, even after his death, he creates some will, and he wants to hold grip on his family members. So there in that play, we can come across some weak characters like Sonal, wife of Hasmukh Mehta, the major character in that play. So that lady is represented as a weak character. And at the same time, another character, Kiran Jhaveri, who is a very strong character, who is mentioned as mistress of Hasmukh Mehta, she is brought to the family. Where Sonal fails to unite her family, where Sonal wants to bring some coordination in her family, so that lady fails. And at the same time, Kiran Jhaveri, she gets to succeed in uniting her family. So in that way, here, Mahesh Dattani shows the differences between two female characters. So like that, taking the characters like female characters and representing their research work on that, and doing some feministic research work in the place of Mahesh Dattani, how women in 30 days in September, how Mala and her own mother, they suffer, Shanta, they suffer due to child sexual abuse. So how the difference between mother and daughter, the difference between Alka and Dolly in another play titled Bravely Fought the Queen. So like that, taking some women characters are working on that, and at the same time, comparison between Edward Albee's Tennessee Williams plays A Streetcar Named Desire and A Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. So there are some plays where even Tennessee Williams also shows similarities with Mahesh Dattani's plays. So these two writers can be compared and they can be studied. And at the same time, homosexuality that is present in India, and at the same time, homosexuality, so homosexual plays written in America, transgenders' sufferings, the kinds of rights provided to transgenders, the kind of rights provided to homosexuals, showing difference between our country and another country, plays and circumstances these transgenders and homosexuals undergo in heterosexual society. and what kind of favors that are done at international stages, and I mean at international platforms. So these things can a research scholar work on that.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, what are the social issues discussed in the plays of Mahesh Dattani?
Yes, madam. In Mahesh Dattani's plays, we can majorly find discrimination, child sexual incest, and then domestic violence, and then female infanticide, patriarchal domination, social inequality. These can be noticed in Mahesh Dattani's plays. Coming to domestic violence, we can find in Bravely for the Queen, where both Alka and Dolly, these two sisters, face domestic violence, and they suffer in the hands of their mother-in-law Ba. Jiten and Nitin are their husbands, who torment them physically. Dolly, when her husband kicks her when she was pregnant, she gives birth to a physically deformed child. So this is a clear evidence that how women in upper middle class families, even though they are educated, even though they are aware of the society, so these people are still within the shackles of patriarchal norms, how they are still under the domination of their husbands. So that can be noticed in Bravely for the Queen. And coming to child sexual incest, so that is also one of the social evil that is discussed in Mahesh Dattani's 30 Days in September. So in this play, a girl named Lata, she gets she suffers a lot in the hands of her own uncle named Vinay. And throughout the play we can notice how Lata, even though she wants to open her mouth, her mother doesn't allow her. And finally, when Lata outbursts with her emotions, her mother Shanta reveals the fact that Shanta herself is also victim of child sexual incest in the hands of her own brother Vinay once again. So these things represent how still women are not allowed to open their mouth. Even though Shanta opens her mouth in society, society ill treats them. So that kind of things we can find in 30 Days in September. And another point, that is a female infanticide. Tara, when I was giving introduction regarding the plays of Mahesh Dattani, I told that Tara and Chandan are Siamese twins. They are conjoined twins. This Tara, when in the middle of this play, as usually Mahesh Dattani in his play represents his own culture. I mean his own regional culture, and in that play we can find how in some of Patel's family, small girls, female children after their birth, they are drowned to death by their own parents, because in many of the families people believe that female children are burden on them. After coming to certain age, these people, these girls have to be given in marriage to other people, and at the same time they have to give dowry along with that girls. So because of that fear, because of the insecurity in society, many of the families in Gujarat, they do not allow their children, their female children, to do. So that kind of things, female infanticide, we can notice in Tara. Of course, we can also find a patriarchal domination in that play. And Bharati Patel, she undergoes patriarchal domination in the hands of her own husband. And at the same time, another aspect that we can find is AIDS patients. How AIDS patients are discriminated, how homosexuals are discriminated, how even transgenders are not given equal opportunities to survive in society. So these things we can notice as social issues in Mahesh Dattani's plays. AIDS in Ek Alag Mausam, and homosexuals in Do the Needful, and Seven Step, On a Muggy Night in Mumbai. And Seven Steps Around the Fire discusses the problems of transgenders, where in Seven Steps Around the Fire, where these are transgenders, how they live, what is their culture, how innocent transgenders are also victimized by these heterosexual society people. One transgender is murdered, and at the same time the murder is accused. I mean, that blame is thrown on another Hijra named Anarkali. Ultimately there is one major character in that play, that is Uma Rao, who does some investigation over the murder case of Anarkali, and she brings the fact out that it is none other than a wealthy political minister who murders that innocent Hijra named Kamla. So here, once again, we can find patriarchal domination of Uma Rao in this play also, madam, along with sufferings of a transgender. How Uma Rao also suffers gender discrimination, because Uma Rao is not blessed with children. When she asks her husband to go to meet the doctor, then her husband does not show interest to meet the doctor. Once again we can find a male domination over female character. So these are some of the social issues that are highlighted by Mahesh Dattani in his plays.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. You came here to part in the discussion and explained the topic so nicely. I hope the academicians, researchers, and professionals will get benefited by it. Thank you, ma'am.